Once you've run a test, you frequently have to debug it. I'm going to show you today how to use a test log to aid in finding the problems and fixing the problems. The test log shows a sample, a subset of the users. There's a summary pie chart that shows a success rate and failure rate, but it can't be trusted because it's just sampling. But it still can be useful for finding errors. And when you're looking at the test log, you can look at the protocol data view, and it shows you the details of pages that have failed if they're sampled. And you can use the compare function, which is very useful. And then I'll show you a quick shortcut on how to navigate and only look at the errors. First, let me take a look at the test log settings. These show up when you're looking at a schedule and you have the very top line of the schedule selected, and then you can see all the options. The test log options impact the number or the percentage of users that are sampled, and you can change it to sample all users, and you can change it to sample a lot more information, but you then have to worry about the size of your results, your size of the test log. So it's a trade-off. So I modified the Google test just enough so that it would run, and I had some error checks in it, and then I ran it. Of course it failed because I didn't do all the substitutions properly, and there were other things I wasn't controlling for. So I'll now show you how to wander through that test log and figure out what was wrong. So first you display the results and select display test log. And depending on how big the test log is, it might take a long time to display. The pie chart there shows the percentage of failures and successes. Like I said, that can't be trusted to tell you the truth because it's sampled. Okay, you click on the link and it takes you to the first failure. And it tells you it expected a 200 but received a 304. And once you've got that selected, you can look at the request, and you can look at the response headers. And in the case of a 304, there's no content, but if there was content, you could look at that. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select all of the request. I'm going to copy it to the clipboard, and now click on this link, and it takes you to the test case script that's related to the error. So that's a useful thing to know. And I'm looking at the request headers, and I'm selecting them all, and I'm comparing them. And so you can see it's highlighted what's different. I'm using a different user agent because I substituted that. But I also see that a difference at the bottom of the screen is that there's an if modified since on my playback request, and that's different. And that would in fact explain why I got a 304 response, which is not modified when I played it back, but when I recorded it, I got a 200. And my error check said I want an exact match. I treat anything that's not an exact match as a failure. So that's that problem. Now I'm showing you that you can select only to look at failures, and then you can navigate to the next failure. So this is a fast path to just look at errors. You select that I only want to look at failures, and then you navigate to the next failure. So that's a quick summary of how to use the test log to debug. It samples a subset of users. You can't trust the pie chart to give you a real good idea of what the success rate is because it only shows what's sampled. But even so, it could be useful for finding errors. And the protocol view can capture details of failed pages if those pages were sampled. And you can use the compare function to compare your playback to your recording and try to find out what's different. And then I also showed you how to navigate to the next error, which is a good shortcut.